Well, that's speculative fascism. Let's deal with the actually occurring fascism of the regime we're living under today. There is a report, and this was talked about a couple weeks ago. There's a new policy initiative. Jeff Sessions said explicitly that if you are a migrant at the border, you will be separated from your children in the latest act of terrorism against people who are either, let's say, undocumented or actually, in some cases, absolutely would fit a legal definition of refugee in terms of the situations they're facing and dealing with. And now it has been reported just this past, or just on the 22nd, by E.J. Monatini, and I don't know what paper this is for.
Arizona Republic.
Arizona Republic. Okay. That the Trump, and I'm quoting now, the Trump administration recently announced a get tough policy that will separate parents from their children if the family's caught crossing the border illegally. It was a big story, so big it overshadowed the fact that the federal government has lost 1,475 migrant children in its custody. Homeland Security, within 24 hours of being taken into custody, children are transferred to the Department of Health and Human Services, which finds them places to stay. They will be separated from their parents. So there are already, again, I'll just repeat that, 1,475 children, which the federal government has just lost track of after separating them from their parents. That, even before the formal announcing and move of this terrorist policy at the border, this is already happening. And now we shift over to a hearing that took place on Tuesday.
Same day as that article coming out.
Same day as this article coming out, with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Chief, ICE, Thomas Homeland, attacking Democratic lawmaker Nanette Barragan of California for her questioning him on these moves and defending himself in a sanctimonious, self-righteous way and blaming Congress for his agency's conduct.
Great. Thank you. I yield back.
Can I respond to the speech that was made?
Absolutely.
First of all, no one on this panel is anti-immigrant. We're law enforcement officers who enforce the law that you all enacted. So to sit there and say that we're anti-immigrant is just wrong. We are enforcing laws. If you think it's okay to enter this country legally and they shouldn't be arrested, that's just wrong. The laws clearly state enter the country legally is a crime. And no one's up here saying all illegal aliens are criminals. A certain percentage of them are criminals. They commit yet another offense after they're here. I've said many times, I certainly understand the plight of these people, and I feel bad for some of these people. But I have a job to do. I have to enforce the law and uphold the oath that I took to enact the laws enacted by you, Congress.
Yes, that's right. Going back to the 1990s, Bill Clinton, in fact, did sign laws where people who committed certain criminal activities could be deported back to their country of origin. And that has been effect. So yes, Congress and the executive have passed and imposed some very, very xenophobic and broadly destructive policies, of which he is actively enforcing as head of an agency that needs to be abolished immediately. But we also see on a daily basis that agents under his authority are terrorizing people, selectively enforcing the laws, going up on two women in a parking lot because they're speaking Spanish, and all sorts of other things that Congress most certainly did not pass. So maybe instead of the sanctimonious whining, you could go find the over 1,000 children that you've already lost track of after you've separated them from your parents, which is what you're doing. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Does Congress need to pass a law explicitly stating don't lose 1,500 kids?
Yeah. Does Congress need to do that? Or is that just out of your control? And to some of the people that you feel bad for, the plight of, do they include 5-year-olds that you've ripped from their families and lost to in a massive bureaucracy where anything could happen to them in a context where they're potentially also fleeing a country filled with violence and dangerous situations that exceed Iraq, as an example? Is that part of the group that you feel bad for? ICE needs to be abolished immediately, and anybody that supported and aided any of these policies needs to be electorally punished and possibly legally investigated. It's disgusting.